there everybody, and welcome to another video, and welcome to another food for thought video, and also a review of an iconic film that everybody in the entire universe knows. Now, I'm not going to review it now, really, but it is about Star Wars, and not really, it's about everything. Well then, and in advance, I have to apologize if my voice jumps more than usual, and if I sound like a teenager. I am sick very much, and I've got a fever and things like that, so it's going to be interesting in the next couple of days. Nevertheless, I have been able to rest this weekend, more than usual, because obviously, high temperature, things here, coughing, so a lot of tea and medication and things like that. So, and I've been able to read a lot, open some of the action figures that have been around my house for like half a year. This Conan the Barbarian by Frazetta Gills and Icon Collectibles. Crème de la crème. Yes. By the way, I want to do a detailed review with HD camera. Not now, because I burnt my hand while I was making tea. And if you were looking at this injury, the entire video, you wouldn't be able to focus on the figure. So as you can see, I'm a husk right now. Nevertheless, I obviously watched something, and I watched Star Wars. I watched A New Hope on some of my old DVDs. And before that, a couple of days before that, I had heard someone on the internet, quite an influential personality in the independent American comic book industry, say, I miss Star Wars. And I'm like, where has it gone, man? And I have grown tired of the Debbie Downers of our day and age. Now, if you want to be a Debbie Downer about the general situation in the world, please do so. I won't argue about that. The world is shite and people are crazier and crazier. But as far as entertainment goes, we really can't live in a better time. Now, hear me out. Do you know why? Because you can get anything one way or another. Do you want to read old books? You can still read those old books that are untouched by those new continuations that they have tried to implement into the universe. Like, for instance, there are still Star Wars Expanded Universe books being reprinted every month, and they do include the Banner Legends. Is it really that much of a bother to you that you can't buy the book because it contains the Banner Legends? I mean, it's much better than when they released The Lord of the Rings with the Rings of Power covers on it. But still, I've got about 10 different editions of The Lord of the Rings without that cover. And you can still get about 50 different Lord of the Rings editions without that cover. The saying, I miss Star Wars, is like me if I said, I miss Tolkien because I have seen the Rings of Power. Where has he gone? Did he disappear? Is it Fahrenheit 451? Have people come to your house and everywhere and burnt all the books? No. You can still get them. Even my bitching about the Horus Heresy series not being reprinted, it's not really a problem because I do get those books on my Kindle. They're still available. And if you don't like certain editions, or remastered editions or changes in those old films that have been made, people are constantly writing to me, oh, you can get this specialized or despecialized edition there and there and there. You have got the means. It doesn't mean that you have to use them all, that you have to take advantage of them all. I certainly don't. I mean, I'm okay with my old DVDs. I know that changes were made to the Star Wars films as opposed to the theatrical editions. But there is still a tiny spark of hope in my brain that hopes that one day the theatrical editions will be released. And they say, oh, the original the films, they were damaged and they don't exist anymore. I don't believe that. I think one day we might see like a Blu-ray release of the theatrical releases of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and A New Hope. So you can always just enjoy anything you like and dislike the rest. I don't know, and maybe when you watch Star Wars, you have to think about Rey all the time. Rian Johnson and Luke Skywalker drinking blue milk straight from the teat. If so, I feel very sorry for you, but I can absolutely put those things away and forget about them. I mean, it's like, those things are like non-fan fiction anyway, because they weren't made under the direction of George Lucas. And by that I don't mean that he was the director, but under his supervision. And whatever wasn't made under a direct supervision or wasn't sanctioned officially or okayed by George Lucas. Did I say Peter Jackson? I meant George Lucas. Bear in mind, very sick fever. George Lucas is like a non-fan fiction anyway. Anything. It's like, and people sometimes they send me messages saying, have you read this fan fiction? It's good. No, thank you. I don't read fan fiction. It's a waste of time. I mean, if I had to watch or read fan fiction, let it at least be an official fan fiction, like Andor, which is good actually. And then to the other part of this video, the Debbie Downers who are trying to make you think as if there was nothing good left in entertainment, and that the only way for you to get good entertainment is to buy their product. Oh, the snake oil salesman. Oh, the phonies, the liars. Oh, they are there. So I have been observing the American independent comic book industry for quite some time. Years ago, because I always loved reading comics. So I was reading comic books all throughout the 2000s and then the 2010s. And inevitably I noticed that there was a problem with the quality of the mainstream comic books. Between 2012, 2015, up until 2023, let's say, 2022. But still, there were good comics to be got in Europe, in Japan, and in certain American comic book publishers, like the Titan Comics, the Dark Horse. Hellboy has been consistently good since that title started coming out in the early 90s. So there was always good things, and there was always bad things. But for a certain period of time, that particular branch of entertainment has been taken over by people of certain socio-political persuasion. And that same could be said about audiovisual entertainment. And it was apparent, and it could be seen. And like many other people, I did go and try to look for the answers as to why these things happened. And also that provided me with a pick at some alternatives that sprang up. Like certain people were disadvantaged in that particular industry, and they left the industry and they started publishing their own stories on their own, self-publishing and crowdfunding them. Quite obviously me, being a writer myself, having published several volumes of poetry collections and many an academic text and book in my country, having contributed into several encyclopedias upon Tolkien. So me being kind of a writer as well, I don't want to label myself as such because everybody does that these days. Oh, I'm a writer. Yeah, sure, you are, honey bunny. Sure, Jen. So I wanted to support creative thought and creative freedom. I'm all for it. Alas, I noticed that the crashing majority of these products were of the same, if not worse quality than those stories that were coming out from the mainstream. And the only good way to promote themselves that they had, those creators, was a culture war. Buy my books because those big companies, they hate you. Well, that might work for some time, but not forever, because people will see that your product is not any better, and that the mainstream now has actually got much better. Now, not the fantasy genre per se. I would say that the fantasy genre has still a long way to go towards improvement, both in the literary medium and the audiovisual medium, the modern fantasy genre. But as far as other genres go, like science fiction and horror, the superhero genre, they are all getting better again. And that being said, I don't consume new things much anyway. I mean, for the last year and a half, I've mainly been reading Warhammer 40,000 and Horus Heresy books. Then most of them came out in the 2000s, early 2000s, 20 years ago. Some of those books are getting the 20th, 30th anniversary editions. And besides that, I mean, I'm an old English literature major. I read Beowulf and stuff, Tolkien and Lord and Saney. I mean, come on, I read and focus on these things. So I just do focus on very little of the new. But that which I do see and watch and read, it's not that bad. It's absolutely not that bad. And so I just like to warn you against those snake oil salesmen that I supported in the past, but am not going to support anymore. Actually, I have unfollowed a lot of people from this particular branch of American independent comic book scene, because all I can see are lies and fights and drama and infighting of the scale and magnitude that I haven't even seen from the worst of the worst of the worst activists in the mainstream comic book industry. It is absolutely appalling and abhorrent. And so, no, Star Wars isn't dead. And you do not have to support independent creators if their product is shit. Don't worry. Enjoy what you like and what's good, wherever it comes from. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, and that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.